from Allen Hall on the campus of Onondaga Community College in Syracuse, New York, ESFTV presents college basketball. Today, it's an HVIAC matchup as ESF hosts Kings. Good afternoon and welcome. Thanks so much for joining us on ESFTV for some Meds College hoops. Alongside Will Henschel, I'm Trey Redfield, courtside here in the Salt City for first of 4 Mighty Oaks home games to be broadcasted on ESFTV. And first up, it's a date with the Lions. Will, let's get right into it. Keys to the game for Kings. Go.
So the Lions are coming in with 3 great scorers: Jimmy Wynn, Molly Binnen, and Tyler Bowens. Key to the game for the Lions: feed those 3 guys. We talked to head coach Nick Swedick. He said that offense was designed to go through those 3 guys. You got to feed them. They can get at as many points as you need. Second key for these guys: warm up quick. Long bus ride from Brooklyn up here to the Salt City. Got to get the legs moving, got to get the juices flowing. If not, it's going to be a long game. Injuries could happen. Get loose, get going. And second and third, build off the last loss. It was a 91-86 loss to Word of Life, but 86 points, the most points they've scored all season. Keep that momentum going.
And on the ESF side, it's a team that's won its last 2 games. A big win back on December 12th, 90-45 over Vaughn. What did the Mighty Oaks need to do to make it 3 in a row?
Well, doubling up their opponent would certainly help, but don't give Binnen, Wynn, or Bowens too much space. Like we said, they're the 3 most prolific scorers for the Lions. If you give them an inch, they'll give you a 3. Consistent 90s, that would certainly help. Putting up 90 is a great way to start for any basketball game. I think the Mighty Oaks would try to replicate that to make it 3 in a row. And third, Reed Patchett, Kieran Heffernan. Reed Patchett leads the conference in field goal percentage with 61.8. Heffernan leads in three-point percentage with over 80. They are walking buckets.
It was a rough start to start off for ESF. Started 2021 at an 0-5 record, but the Mighty Oaks are winners of 4 of their last 5. And for the first time since February 5th of 2020, we have Mighty Oaks basketball on ESF TV. ESF, the ones in gold. Kings in navy blue. Matt McFarland tries a 3. That's way too short. Rebound fought for near the wing. Finally scooped up by Heffron, but they say he walks.
And an aggressive start for McFarland. He exploded the other night against Bryan and Stratton Syracuse for 25, but not getting off on the right foot there.
It's a career high from the sophomore as a drive to the lane is good from Molly Binnen. He averages around 20 a game. He gets the party started for the Lions. The 5 on the floor for Kings is Nick Rommel, Tyler Bowens, Molly Binnen, Morton Hansen, and Jimmy Wen. Wen and Binnen were dominant last time out against Word of Life, both scoring 29 plus. Wen was the one that had 29. You look over to Molly Binnen, he had a season and team high 33 as Christian Rossi gets on the board. The Mighty Oaks have their first lead.
That's Rossi averaging over 16.5 points a game. He's a weapon from deep.
The 5 for ESF, Rossi, Logan Cianco, Matt McFarland, Reed Patchett, and Kieran Heffron as Wen tries a 3. That's off the iron.
Both teams really trying to work in the 3-ball early, not going too low just yet.
Cianco on the left wing as the Mighty Oaks swinging around. McFarland was on that 2019-20 squad as a triple's on the way. That's no good from Heffron. Rebound scooped up from Tyler Bowens. The Maryland native finds Wen. Hansen on the fake, going on the drive, an offensive foul is called.
That is a great, great take by number 34 in yellow, Kieran Heffernan. Not only is he a sharpshooter from deep, but he's a great defensive presence. Big body listed at 6'0".
Heffron taking the charge there. He's one of 2 players not from the state of New York. Actually one of 3 now with a new addition. Ryan DeSawyers is the latest addition to this Mighty Oaks squad, but one of 3 players not a New Yorker. We haven't seen that since the 2014-15 season as the triple from Cianco is no good. Binnen taking it up as another offensive foul is called.
And head coach for this ESF team, John D'Antonio, not happy, it appeared, with Christian Rossi on something involved with that play.
Patchett finds McFarland down low, who finishes. Patchett averaging around 7 assists per game. Finds McFarland, the York native, to put ESF up 3.
McFarland is going to be a huge centerpiece to this ESF offense. He's only 6'1", but is actually one of the taller people on the ESF squad.
Binnen going to the rack, can't get it. The rebound scooped up by Patchett. The kick out to Siako. He wants 3. Give it to him. Logan Siako says +2 actually. They say it's a 2-pointer. So instead of a 6-point game, it is a 5-point game. ESF leads 7-2.
That's about as long a 2 as you're going to get.
As Kings answers right back. That one is a triple. Coming from the right hand of Morton Hansen. He's averaging only 1.5 points a game. It's a very short Kings squad today. 8 players did not make the trip from Brooklyn to the Salt City today.
Looking at not 1, but only 2 players on the Kings bench right now.
Hepburn kicks it out to Siako. This time, no, it's another 2. How close can he get to the 3-point line?
In the referee's defense, it did look like Siako was towing the line on that one.
So another 2 from Siako as Wen goes in on the drive. He can't get it. Going opposite hand to the glass as he picks up a foul. That's not what you want if you're Jimmy Wen, one of the best players on this team, averaging a little over 11 a game.
Yeah, Wen, he is one of the most prolific field goal scorers on this team. He's averaging just a tick over 35%, but just hasn't been able to get it worked just yet around the rim.
Siako with it once again. Grand Island native kicks it out to McFarland. Hepburn now going in on the drive. He can't get the rim. Rommel gets it and he finds Hansen. Owen fakes, goes inside. Strong defense from the center, Patchett. You do it on both ways. Patchett averaging 18.5 a game as well. Siako from the elbow, can't get it. Rommel with another board. He doesn't average much of those, only 1.5 a game.
Timeout Kings.
As Kings will use its first timeout of the game.
It was interesting to see kind of the shot chemistry that a lot of the teams have been using. We've seen Molly Binnen really try to crash the net, go into the rim deep, as he does, as he's one of the, he's averaging just under 20 points a game. That's unbelievable. And shooting just under 40% from the field. So he is definitely kind of the guy that you want around the rim listed at 6'5". But the ESF Mighty Oaks really trying to incorporate the 3-ball.
So Nick Swedick, the one calling timeout for the Mighty Oaks. It's his 3rd year, 2nd season, because the Lions didn't play last year due to COVID-19. But he got it. He got his bachelor's at Kings, went to his master's at NYU, but he's also been around this Kings program a lot. He was an assistant coach for the men's and women's team before taking over as the head coach. He's also an assistant dean of students at Kings, so he's involved with the academics of Kings in New York City.
Yeah, busy guy over there at Kings College.
Rossi's double team kicks it out. And open McFarland will try a 3. He can't get it, Went with the board. Pass to an open Rommel, but the Mighty Oaks get there immediately. Referee Todd Kirky says it went off of Kieran Heffron last.
Yeah, it's staying Kings ball.
Binnen, the leading scorer for the Lions, is stripped away, but Wen picks it up. Went down low, was looking for Binnen. Instead, it bounces off of McFarland. Lions will reset. 20 on the shot clock.
That's a strange bounce pass to take, as there were 3 Mighty Oak bodies in the passing lane from Wynn. They could have easily stretched it out, but chose not to.
Kick out to Wen, thought about the 3. Instead puts up a floater off the glass and in. Kings gets back on the board. The deficit cut to 2. Working quickly to the rack, that's no good. Patchett with the putback, that one will fall.
And And that is why he is the conference leader in field goals at 61.8%.
Rommel from the corner, that's no good. Rebound by John De Palma. Kings Park native majoring in landscape architecture. Patchett going in on Hansen. Hansen with the defense. Moore shaking his head, telling Patchett, no, not today, my friend. Thinks about the three, instead finds one on the corner. He'll try it. That's no good. The rebound by McFarland. Rossi with pace. Going in on Bowen, that's no good. Offensive board by De Palma. Patchett with the jumper, that is well off the mark. Spinning goes in on McFarland, it's too easy.
That's bread and butter for the Lions all season. Fast break, give it to Binnen, 6'5", take it to the rim.
The Turkey native making it a 2-point game once again. Palma finally finds his man. It's Patchett. This one much closer to the rack, but still can't find the bottom of the net. Bennett going in on another drive, offensive foul.
These Mighty Oaks, you could say, starting to act a lot like trees, getting in the way of the lane and taking out any kind of offensive drive that Binnen wants to do. That's the second time that he's been called for a charge.
Binnen and Swedick very upset with Todd Kirky, the one who made the call, arguing that feet were moving, but Kirky was the one that disagreed. That's Hunter Waldman with it. He just stepped in the game for the first time. Siako going on the drive, a mismatch against Binnen. Mighty Oaks swinging it around. Rossi, the hometown Syracuse native, now out to Siako with one on the shot clock. That won't go, but Patchett with an easy lay-in. There's a reason why he leads the HBIAC in field goal percentage, and it's because of Patchett's presence down low.
And he's the reason why they get so many of those points. He's the tallest guy for this ESF team. Not the tallest team by any measure, but when you put a 6'5" guy under the basket, good things are gonna happen.
It's a big height advantage. Kings over ESF as a foul is called. Goes against Hunter Waldman. That's the first foul on ESF today. Props to John D'Antonio's squad. Took the Mighty Oaks to get a foul, just 8 minutes of play, as another one is called here. This one will lead to a trip to the charity stripe. It's Cade Nicholson going to the line for a couple.
Yeah, that was Reed Patchett who got blown dead, and I'm not gonna lie, that looked almost like all ball from here, but ref saw otherwise from his angle, and they were going shooting freeze now.
As Nicholson can't get the first free throw. That was his first attempt of the season. Comes out of Phoenix, Arizona. Loves the location, great opportunity, great academics. Big reason why he chose Kings. He can't get the second either.
It's unfortunate too, because any basket that he makes would have been his first points of the season as of this game.
Played last time out against Word of Life. Didn't have any buckets there in just 3 minutes play. Waldman down low to Patchett. Going to work on Tyler Bowens. It's a 6-point ESF lead. Binnen moving quickly, down low to Hansen, a beautiful fake and an even better finish. Hansen making the Mighty Oaks look foolish there. McFarland with the spin, tries Binnen, he's unsuccessful. The 6'5" junior making it look too easy. Three from Nicholson is off the mark. As McFarland grabs the board. Pass out to Rossi. His try gets swatted away. Was looking for Patchett as Bennett goes in on another drive to the rack and does it again. Mally Binnen, a force to be reckoned with. It's back to a 2-point lead for ESF. Magic can't get that one to fall. Pellissier grabs the board. Andrew Pellissier averaging less than a board a game. We have a whistle for Jimmy Wen coming in from Mally Binnen.
Yeah, Binnen was talking to one of the refs. But for both these teams, somebody's got to tell them that they got 30 seconds on the shot clock. I don't think I've seen the shot clock go past 20 seconds in about 5 minutes. They are fast break after fast break after fast break. Somebody's got to tell them they got 30 seconds and 2 halves to play.
But when you have a guy like Mally Binnen who can just drive down the lane and make it look easy, sometimes you don't need all 30 seconds, right?
Yeah, it covers 94 feet in about 2 seconds.
Bowens and Wen playing catch. Wen will try a 3, and Kings has its first lead. It's second, check that. It's first in a little while, though.
Yeah,
it's been 9 minutes.
The Lions back in the driver's seat.
Farland going in on Bowens, but he's poked away by Wen. Wen gets stripped as well. ESF moving quickly. Here's the Palma. Bounce pass to Waldman. That won't go. But the putback by McFarland is good. ESF back in front, this time by 1. Bowens finds Wen again. Can he do it again? You bet. Jimmy Wen back-to-back triples to put the Lions up 2.
So after starting slow, Wen, who's one of the most important scorers on this Kings side, is finally finding a stroke.
He's been cold as of late, only averaging 8 a game in his last 5. But started hot. The season opener 17, second game 16, third game 15. Wen finding his groove once again, especially after having 29 against Word of Life last time out. Wen goes down low to Pellissier. Pellissier's in some trouble, he kicks it out. Nice behind the back pass to Wen, who does it again. Oh, that's 3 straight triples. It's a 5-point game.
Wen pulled the trigger, but Bowens loaded the gun. What a beautiful behind the back bounce pass.
So if Wen just did that, what did Sianko just do?
Banged a triple home.
So Kings up by 2, 8:44 to go in this first half. Some men's college basketball for you on ESFTV. He's Will Henschel. I'm Trey Redfield. And Will, these teams are just going back and forth. You mentioned it, not using the shot clock either.
I know. The shot clock was invented right here in Syracuse, but they have no regard for it. The shot clock may as well be 12 seconds in this game, I swear. They're just going back and forth. It's fast break. They're looking for the first shot they get every time, and whether that's down low around the rim or it's spreading it out and looking for a corner 3 like we just saw from Jimmy Wen.
So Kings the one to use another timeout there. That's the Lions' second. ESF has yet to use any of its 4 timeouts.
This is going to be the 1-2 combo of Wen and Bowen starting this push from the Lions.
Binnen is still on the bench for Kings. Bowen's the one barking out some orders. 20 is his season high. He had 12 last time out against Word of Life. He gets stripped, takes it hard to the floor. Still finding an open Pellissier who finishes. What an effort from Bowens, the senior. As Hepburn can't corral it, had some butterfingers before the game. Wen kicking out to Bowen. As Wen has an open look, he can't get it this time around. His first miss in 3 attempts. Can he find a better answer this time around? You bet he can.
Bowens
the Lions up by 7.
Sorry, but Bowens and Wen getting telekinetic right now, just finding each other in the open shots and just racking up point after point for the Lions.
Stepping into the game for the first time is Michael Samuel, the New Jersey native. He finds an open Patchett, who hits the bottom of the net. Around 7:25 left in this one. Kings up by 5. tray on the way. That's no good from Bowens. Off the left hand, couldn't get it. As Waldman goes in, kicks out to Samuel. He'll try a three. Don't give it to him just yet. Nice board by McFarland and a better finish. Matt McFarland bringing that down with one hand, making it look so easy. It's a 3-point lead for Kings.
He got up there. He muscled that ball back into himself and got the easy two after the board.
Bowens going in on the drive, can't finish. Rommel with the rebound. Nicholson gets it back. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Haven't heard that much today. Now down to 5. Wen, step back tray, that's no good, very short. Efren pushing with speed, finding an open Patchett, thought about throwing it down. He couldn't, but hey, he's going to the line.
That last possession we saw by Kings, one of the first time that they've actually gotten close to expiring the shot clock. Got down to 2 seconds before Jimmy Wynn pulled the trigger. And that's a credit to ESF's defense around the perimeter. They were really closing in and not giving any of the three shooters any kind of space.
Patchett can't get the first. Came into this one shooting 70% from the line. It's funny, the Geneva native has had either 28 or 14 points in his last 4 games. Just going back and forth with one another. 28, 14, 28, 14.
You see, he had 28 against Penn State Scranton and was actually a perfect 12 for 12 from the field against Cayuga Community College.
Mighty Oaks won that Penn State Scranton Tip-Off Classic. They took down Penn State Scranton and Bryan and Stratton Syracuse.
That win against Penn State Scranton was actually the first win of the season. That made him from 0-5 to 1-5. And then starting with that Penn State Scranton game, they've gone 4-1 in their second 5 of the season.
Mighty Oaks looking strong right now, that's for sure, as Rommel can't get it. Coach Nick Switek mentioned to us he wants to be at that point where ESF is. Looking good so far, but the lead is down to 1 for the Lions now. As Logan Sianco gets the lay-in. But Switek wants to be at that point where the Mighty Oaks are in the HVIAC. That's the goal, trying to create a winning mentality. As Jimmy Wen gets the lay-in here, Kings with a quick answer. Samuel open in the corner, but Rossi tried to go to the rack, went down hard instead. Bennett going on McFarland. He's double teamed and he's fouled as well. Mally Bennett, the junior guard from Turkey, led to the charity stripe.
Yeah, been on the bench for a little while. He's back on the floor now and immediately making an impact as he gets the Lions 2 free shots, which could extend this lead all the way to 6 points.
Bennett hits the first. He's now 47 of 64 from the line, averaging around 74%. Been in the finance major, wanted to go to Kings to have all the financial opportunities in New York City.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good spot for it, I would say.
Yeah, you're about a block and a half away from Wall Street. I don't think there's a better place to be.
The world of investing, my friend. It's a 5-point lead for Kings. As now stepping into the game, he's on the right wing, is Ryan DeSawyers. Just passed it to Reed Patchett, but DeSawyers making his Mighty Oak debut today, the Massachusetts native, as Wen is fouled, trying to go to the rack. This one will be on the floor. But DeSawyers, the freshman from Achusetts, Massachusetts, you were told by D'Antonio that he was on the roster today as Wen's triple toilet bowls out. Sianco fakes the 3, instead goes inside and gets the deuce.
It's been a game streak so far. King starts building a lead, ESF goes into a lull, and then the script just flips. ESF starts building up, and King's still ahead, but not by as much as they were a couple minutes ago.
Lions doing something that's really helping them out is moving the basketball a lot. As Binnen finds Rommel down low, who finishes with 5 on the timer. What a find from Binnen. Mighty Oaks need a basket here ASAP. Sawyers, the long pass to a wide open Rossi. He'll try a 3. That's well off the mark. Hatchet with another board. He'll go up with it. Can't finish. The Sawyers gets it this time, and he gets his first points in the Mighty Oak Gold.
The freshman making an impact early, but the Mighty Oaks are lucky that he found the basket because they were finding nothing but short iron that entire possession after a couple of missed threes and a couple of missed shots from the inside field.
So a timeout on the floor, 3:52 to go in this one. To my right is Will Hetchel. I'm Trey Redfield, and Will, Kings is really looking strong right now. I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't really expect this from the Lions, a team that only has 8 players traveling today, but hey, Kings is getting it done, and you have to give them credit.
Oh, absolutely. They're short-staffed for sure, coming off a long bus ride, but right now, not only are they keeping it competitive, they're keeping it in the lead, and I think that is a credit to some of the performances that they put up in their last game. We just mentioned a little earlier, game on December 11th that they had. The loss against Word of Life, they still put up 86. They were actually scheduled to have a game between that game and their previous game against the Webb Institute, which was unfortunately canceled. But a strong win against Albany Pharmacy, 61-39. That proves that they've got a good defensive side, but also a strong offensive side, as we saw in that Word of Life game.
He's got both sides coming back out on the court now. You mentioned the bus ride, saying it was this morning. Yeah, it's true. Kings made the trip from Brooklyn to the Salt City today. We talked with Coach Sweetic on Thursday saying, hey, you know, what's your plan coming up? He says, oh, we're going to get up early in the morning and come up to Syracuse. The look on our faces were the ones we're making right now, wide-eyed at one another. We were shocked.
Yeah, that's a pretty early bus ride, but hey, he said they were used to it by now, so all the power to him.
Got to give it to the squad who's up by 3 and against a team that's leading the HVIAC and ESF. Binnen with a try in the paint, it's a swish. Mally Binnen picking up right where he left off before the timeout as Kings is up by 5. Sianko up top goes to McFarland. This time 2 seasons ago, last time he was in the ESF Gold, he had the lettuce, he cut it, as that one won't go. McFarland trying to get the steal on the other half. Just got away with a hard foul there, some would say. As Binnen goes in on the drive, he's fouled.
I don't know what happened to Mally Binnen when he spent that stint on the bench, but he's come out a changed player. He's driving the basket a lot more aggressively. He's finding way more space on his pivot and getting the shots off, and now he's charging in, drawing fouls, sending himself to the charity stripe.
This is a place where he's used to. He went to the free throw line for 12 shots last game against Word of Life. He made every single one of them. You hear only the net on that one. It was just so pure, but
net barely moved.
Yeah. He had a season and team high 33 points in the 5-point loss.
You know what's even more impressive?
What's even more impressive?
He's scored no fewer than 11 points in every single game. Single-digit point totals do not exist to this man.
He's also had a couple of double-doubles as well, the most recent one coming on December 4th. Kings now leads by 7. It's Nate Recker with the ball. First time he stepped in today, the Onondaga native. Staying home just like Christian Rossi. Sianko will try a 3. That's off the mark. Wen gets the rebound. Bounce past the Bowens. A nice behind-the-back pass from the senior. Nothing much doing after that, though. Binnen goes in. He'll try a jumper. He gets that jumper. The lead is up to 9 for the Lions.
Tyler Bowen's discovering the lost art of passing. He's had some beautiful feeds today so far, and it's only 2 minutes left in the first half.
Sianko stops his dribble well away from the arc. Rossi finds Recker. 5 seconds on the timer. The triple is good from Heffernan. That's how you respond. The deficit cut to 6.
Yeah, the 80% three-point shooter had to show up at some point, and he just did in a big way. This game could have gotten out of hand for ESF. That basket keeps him in it.
Binnen guarded by Patchett. 2 of the conference's best, and Binnen makes Patchett look small there. Goes right over the center on that jumper. Rossi going down low, but Wen strips it away. Good defense there by the freshman. Looking to create some impact on offense as well. He can't get it. Looks like he was on the other side of the backboard there.
Yeah, it looks like, I think he was actually.
As Sianko gets stripped on the left block. The no-look pass once again from Bowens, and another finish from Wen. It's a 10-point Kings lead with 43 seconds to go.
I don't even know how you compete with that. Bowens looking one way, feeding a bullet of a pass to win the other. ESF, no chance.
Patchett getting triple teamed. Binnen with strong defense, but finally a foul is called. Lots of physicality being shown in the paint by Kings. As McFarland will check in for Patchett. Coach Antonio going small. Not many tall guys on this Mighty Oak squad, Will.
Tallest guy on this floor right now for ESF, Matt McFarland, 6'1".
As Heffernan will try another 3. That's back-to-back. The freshman guard making things look easy. So we'll have one last shot coming from Kings. Bowens taking it up slowly.
Some defensive confusion from ESF right now.
Owens averaging around 14 a game. Can he get a couple here? Didn't get called for the foul as the buzzer beater won't go. Nick Rommel tried it, couldn't get it. But something Kings does have, it has itself a 7-point lead over ESF. The Lions leading the Mighty Oaks 43-36. And Will, a short staff for Kings today, only 8 players on the court. But the Lions are making the Mighty Oaks look weak out there.
Yeah, like you said, only 8 players on this team. You would expect somebody would have gotten tired at some point, but all the players that have come in that we've seen so far stayed strong and stayed consistent.
So ESF trailing by 7, halftime now. We'll be back for second half action in just a few moments. Back inside Allen Hall on the campus of Onondaga Community College, where ESF trails Kings by a score of 43-36. Back here courtside in the Salt City, that's Will Henschel. I'm Trey Redfield. And Will, we weren't really expecting this from Kings, knowing that this team only traveled with 8 players from Brooklyn this morning. Hey, the Lions had a very hot first set of 20.
The Lions did have a very hot half. Short staff, but not playing very small ball. Really driving to the basket with their big man, Molly Binnen, getting in the passing lanes, crashing the basket, getting opportunities both down low and out wide with their shooters, Jimmy Wynn, and really just disrupting the ESF offense at every turn. They cannot find the same space that they were getting in the first half of the first half.
So Kings showing a lot of pressure, a team that scored 86 in a loss to Word of Life last time out earlier in the semester. The Lions are also without a couple of players due to graduating this past semester. A player that's injured. You just go down the line. This team has been through a lot, to say the least. But you look on the ESF side, a team that's leading in the HVIAC standings at the moment. Mighty Oaks not really showing that right now, though, scoring only 36 points.
Yeah, no, exactly. Leading the HVIAC with a 2-0 record, but we haven't really seen the kind of play that would warrant being at the top of the standings. We saw some bad passing, some short balls, a lot of balls going off front iron. Not the kind of shooting or consistency or, frankly, the defense that we were expecting out of the #1 team in this conference.
Now, for ESF, who are you looking for to get going, get this Mighty Oaks squad back in the groove and potentially grab themselves a lead to kick off the second half?
I think we could expect a lot more play out of McFarland and Rossi. McFarland, we saw, got a lot of great rebounds and down low, but Rossi hasn't really been there so far in the first half. And I think if he produces a bit more, ESF could explode and start gaining this lead back.
As we take a look into the HVIAC standings, it's ESF in front, like we mentioned, at 2-0 record, 4-6 overall, but the Mighty Oaks not really showing that. As you go down the line, only a couple other teams have played some conference games, the Mighty Oaks being the stronger side of it, with being that 2-0 record. But Kings, you see them second to last in the standings. We talked to Nick Switek on Thursday, where he mentioned he wants to get to that point where ESF and Berkeley are. Berkeley, one of the best teams in the conference throughout the past decade.
Yeah, and that's going to be no short order, because Kings' athletic program only started 10 years ago. They don't have the same kind of history that schools like ESF or Berkeley have right now, but the way they're playing right now, I wouldn't be shocked if Kings took that #1 spot in a couple years from now. They've built themselves a great team. They're playing like it, and even though they've only got 8 players right now, this would be a scary, scary team with a full roster.
What is Switek trying to build? He mentioned a winning culture down in New York City, where the Lions traveled this morning. That's just beyond me. You get up in the morning, you drive 5 hours to go play a basketball game. You're going to drive around 5 hours back. It's just wild.
And let's not
How
forget,
does someone even do that?
let's not forget, it's Sunday. These students got schools tomorrow. They're
That too.
Active students. They got to report to class in the morning, just like you and me, unfortunately.
As Kings will start with the basketball to start off the second half. We're back underway in Syracuse. As Wen picking up where he left off, just 10 seconds in. Back to a 10-point lead for Kings.
Barely 10 seconds in. What a start for the Kings.
Well, McFarland answering on the other half. That lead back down to 8 for Kings. ESF applying more pressure on the other half of the court. As Bowens finds Mally Binnen. Binnen with it up top. Found himself down low a lot, but not doing much of that. He turns it over.
Looks like Binnen was looking for Rommel to move inside to the basket, but Rommel was heading out towards the three-point stripe, and just a miscommunication, and the pass rolls out of bounds.
It's an offensive foul. It's called on Matt McFarland. So Kings will take over. It's McFarland's second. Bones has had double figures in his last 2 games. He's being guarded by Logan Siako. Down low to Binnen. He can't get that one. Bianco on the other end. The spin, the put up, it's no good. Bowens with the board. Binnen wanted the outlet pass from the senior guard. Wen going in on the drive. He stripped, but gets it back. Hansen going in, but a travel not called. Goes up once again, and he's fouled. Warren Hansen will head to the line for a couple.
This Kings team is winning right now because they are being so tenacious on the ball. We just saw Tyler Bowens collect the rebound and outlet pass to Jimmy Wynn. Wynn actually lost the ball, but he chased it back down and regained his own possession. ESF, once the ball is loose, kind of gets flat-footed. They're expecting somebody else on the squad to get it, not the Kings College. They are getting their own balls, they're regaining possessions, they're making the most of every opportunity they get.
Hansen can't hit either one of his free throws, and that triple is well off the mark from Kieran Heffron. Binnen trying to press on McFarland as Hansen will try a jumper. That's off the mark. Mighty Oaks going the other way. Heffron will try another three. That one, much more of a nicer miss than the last one where he airballed. Nicholson going in towards Binnen, and Binnen is fouled again. How many times are they going to foul this guy?
Clearly, as much as it takes to stop him from just attacking the basket at will. And this isn't even to say that he is, you know, a bad free throw shooter. I mean, he's not the best on the squad, but he can put up good numbers. But I mean, when he's crashing the basket that quickly and you know that he's about to put up a layup too, your only real option is to foul the guy and send him to the line. And it's paying off because he just missed his first one.
As the Turkey native stays at 16 points. He can't hit either one of those free throws. As Hansen and McFarland going at it. Foul is called on Hansen. Some physical D being played by the guard.
Yeah, Hansen played his most minutes against Albany Pharmacy. He's seen a lot of court time, and he's getting kind of bullied around there. He's in a very physical position, and his knee just took a beating on that last fall.
It's one of those guys stepping up for Kings who's shorthanded today. He grabs the board off the miss from Christian Rossi. And it going in, he's quadruple teamed. Shot will be on the floor. But there he goes again. Doesn't matter how many guys are on him. He's going to take it to the rack.
And I'm no mathematician, but I think if 4 guys are on 1 player, that means that there's only 1 player covering the other 4 on your team.
Bingo.
So why not try to pass it out and try to get a triple instead of just crashing the basket?
Or do just that as Binnen gets up to 18 with that 2-pointer. Kings leads by 10. Mighty Oaks swinging it around to Samuel, the New Jersey native. Finding Patchett halfway through the shot clock. McFarland will try a 3, in and out. Bowens gets it from Hansen. Finds an open Nicholson, and there's 3.
Long 2.
Check that, a long 2. Either way, it's Nicholson's first points in his collegiate career. Rossi loses it. Bounced off of Hansen last. How many of these long 2s are going to get? I keep getting burned by each and every single one of these.
It is, and they're really
it looks like a 3.
And they're really only happening on this end. I don't know if it's the stripe or something.
That one's a 3, but it was deflected.
And a bit of debate going on as to what team it actually hit last. Refs are saying it skimmed off a Kings College player in ESF ball.
Steve Sutphin, Todd Kirky, and Eric Prees all agreed, saying that it went off of Hansen last. He got a deflection off the 3-point try. Mighty Oaks trying to find some space on the baseline coming off of it. Kick out to McFarland. As they didn't even realize the shot clock was trailing down. They kicked it out to Samuel, but there was nothing on the timer. Coach John D'Antonio calls a timeout, a much needed one, some could say.
Yeah, the ESF squad definitely needed that breather. And we were saying in the first half, neither team is using up much of the shot clock, barely making it tick over 20 seconds. That time, ESF just got their timing mixed up, didn't realize how much time they even had left, and ultimately bled the shot clock all the way down. Turnover on the time, and a quick timeout.
This Kings team just put in the work on ESF, whether it's the strong defense that we've been seeing recently, especially in the second half, or just finding ways to the basket.
Now, you got to think. We've got 16 minutes, 20 seconds remaining. ESF is down by 12.
That's plenty of time. Do
these Kings players, will they start to get tired to a point where ESF can start chipping away and they just can't keep up? That's definitely something they'll have to look out for.
That's something Nick Switek may need to look out for as well. He talked to us saying he wants to slow it down a little bit against a very fast-paced ESF squad. And with having only 8 players on a team going into today, that may help you with your stamina and the fitness that Coach Switek talked a lot about on Thursday.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to see it right here with Tyler Bowens, although ESF is now moving to almost a 3/4 court press, but Bowens takes it over the timeline very slowly. He wants to bleed this clock.
Reason why Bowens went to Kings, it's the only way he was going to try New York pizza. How about that?
You know, I don't blame him. Have you ever had New York pizza?
I've had New York pizza.
It's phenomenal.
It's extremely good.
And that's not even touching on the bagels.
Been to Acropolis as well. It's really
yeah.
good too. Maybe the Lions, if they pull off a win today, they'll go to Acropolis before they head back to Brooklyn.
Hey.
As Nicholson gets a couple there.
I throw my recommendation down.
On Acropolis?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I like it. Patchett going up to the rack. He's fouled. I believe they didn't reset the shot clock.
Yeah, no, they didn't. It wasn't ticking down. That's going to have to be a reset.
We've seen that a lot with the scorekeeping. You know, sometimes the shot clock doesn't get reset. Hopefully they can resolve that as Patchett goes to the line for a couple.
I think sometimes they get crossed up on whether it's a 20-second reset versus a 30-second reset. Yep. There's a lot of entrance. It's very intricate as to what gets reset. I was looking for the word.
You were looking for it.
I found it.
You found it. Patchett has only had 1 game in single digits. It was 8 on November 19th. He had 14 last time against the Lions. As the Geneva native, gets the second. 52-39, the score. Kings leading first place Mighty Oaks. ESF posting a 4-6 record, but 2-0 in conference play. Looking to stay at the top this season as Hansen gets the bucket off the glass. McFarland right wing. Going to Rossi, a nifty move behind the back, but he loses it. Nicholson corrals as the Lions slow it down with Hansen and Binnen. Nicholson is going to try a 3 this time around. That is nothing but air.
Yeah, not the best shot for Nicholson to take, but also not the best offense we're seeing from ESF. Christian Rossi just trying to do a bit too much on that last possession and losing the ball. And even there, the bullet pass looking for Reed Patchett. ESF, when they're down in a situation like this, they got to stick to their fundamentals, and they're just not doing that.
Yeah, they're playing too quick there. You saw it with Patchett. Just couldn't corral the basketball. Wen with a nice fake to create some space. So kick out to Nicholson is intercepted by McFarland. There's another interception. Playing football out here with all these picks as Binnen goes to the rack to get another couple. Binnen picks up his second foul.
And
Too
he's
much
confused.
physicality down low in the paint.
Yeah, must have been getting a little elbow-to-elbow contact there, but Binnen not thinking he deserved a foul call.
Sianko with an open look. That's no good. Patchett with another board, but he can't finish. Bowen's taking up, barking out some orders. It's been hot as of late. Double figures in his past 2 games. Foul is called on Michael Samuel. So Kings will take over on the baseline. Binnen was looking for his 20th point there.
Michael Samuel, he's posted 12 points, season high 12 points against Cayuga Community College. Hits 3/4 of his free throws taken, but bit of a defensive error there.
Wen is double teamed. Goes to the other side of the 1-2 punch. The line swinging around. Back to Binnen. Wen in the corner, gets a triple. Kings is conquering and dominating inside Allen Hall. The lead up to 20. Samuel looking for an answer, but a whistle blown before. It's a foul on Nicholson, his first. This Mighty Oak squad can't find an answer, though, especially for Jimmy Wen.
Jimmy Wen, when he gets the ball and he gets time, especially in the corner, that ball has a very good chance of going in the net, as you just proved. He hit a few in the first half on the far right side corner, and now he's here on the near left side corner, just making it rain.
He's had a couple of triples in this one. He's now up to 24. Just a freshman. Wen is a freshman. He's doing what he's doing. It's insane, as Reed Patchett will go to the charity stripe.
He's a freshman, but he's been hot and cold. You know, like you were saying earlier, he started the season with a 17, a 16, and a 15-point performances. But then between the 4th and the 8th game of the season, only maxed out at 5 points, but then came back in a big way with 29 points against Word of Life. So he's only a couple points shy of equaling and then surpassing his season high.
Wen came to Kings because of Trevor Holland. There's a spot in the website where it has the Kings roster, and it mentions everybody's reasons to go to the Kings College, and he jokingly said Trevor Holland, who is actually being a voluntary assistant now. He graduated this past semester. Holland, one of 2 players to graduate on this Kings squad, so there's another reason why we have a Kings squad that doesn't have that many players. Oldham graduated, Ben Oldham, and Trevor Holland as well. But either way, doesn't really matter. Maybe Holland's adding on some extra tips for Coach Switek to make life easier for this Kings squad. Maybe,
yeah,
just maybe.
Just maybe, but if I'm ESF, I'm thankful that Ben Oldham isn't here. He's listed at 6'7". The Liverpool, England native would have just been Molly Binnen with 2 extra inches around the rim. That is not a size battle that ESF could possibly win. I mean, their tallest player is Reed Patchett, listed at 6'5". And even he is getting burnt by some shorter players in the rebounding game. So a 6'7" player for the Kings would have been game over for ESF.
Yeah, it definitely helps out John D'Antonio and ESF. You know, a team that would have gotten wrecked on the boards even more if Oldham were to play. You know, Oldham had 18 boards on November 21st as we take a look at John D'Antonio. It's his 3rd year at the helm at ESF, but before that he was at Groton High School for 5 years. He's a SUNY Cortland alum. He's on the first ever team at Cortland to make it to the NCAA D3 tournament.
And that is a competitive tournament. There are a lot of strong D3 schools in this region.
Antonio keeping the basketball mind in Central New York. It's an offensive foul. He's called on Andrew Pellissier. Midland Park native upset with himself as he picks up his 2nd on the day. Officially 13 minutes left for the Mighty Oaks to find a comeback. Starts right there with Patchett kissing it off the glass.
Patchett's going to have to be the focal point if they want to come back. He's possibly the best scorer today on the CSF team, and he's one of the biggest players they have down low. Fundamental ball will have to take over here.
Had somewhat of a quiet first half. You only had 8 points. Swen finds some space, but not enough. It bounces off of the leg of Rommel.
And then wraps up Christian Rossi for a offensive foul. That's going the other way.
Yeah, Wen picking up his third. He's got to be careful.
Now, the last thing Kings needs right now is a foul out. They're already so short-staffed as is.
Yep.
You can't lose one of your best players, and that's why he's going to the bench right now.
So Wen and Hansen will step out. Binnen and Nicholson will come back in.
And that foul pushed ESF into the bonus.
Just 8 minutes into this one, Rossi hits the first of the 1-and-1. 65% free throw shooter is Rossi. The Syracuse native majoring in construction management.
We've seen just from the Syracuse basketball season, free throws can kill a team, make and break a game. So if they're already in the bonus, lose a player, get sent to the line more often, this game's wide open.
Rossi's been huge for this team, especially whether it's at the charity stripe, beyond the arc, or down low. He's fifth in the conference and 16.8 points a game. Has been in a nice deflection to keep it alive to Bowens, and he's fouled. The senior will head to the charity stripe for a couple. Had 12 last time out against Word of Life.
I hope at some point in that 5-hour bus ride back to Brooklyn, these guys stop at a gas station and get a couple bags of ice. They're getting banged up on this hardwood right now. And there's going to be a couple bumps and bruises waking up Monday morning.
The Upper Marlboro, Maryland native. Maybe getting some pizza after he mentioned. Reason why he's here. Gotta have the New York pizza.
Gotta have the New York
Gotta
pizza.
have the New York pizza.
If you haven't had New York pizza, get to New York.
Exactly. Samuel was fouled. It was on the floor. He was upset with himself. Either way, it doesn't matter because Kings has pushed ESF into the bonus. A 1-and-1 will come for Samuel, the senior. He's one of 3 players on this team that is not from the state of New York.
Yep.
Samuel from East Orange, New Jersey. We haven't seen a non-New York player on an ESF team since the 14-15 season. You have to go back to Suthad Young. Pennsylvanian playing on that Mighty Oaks squad that year. As Patchett goes down to the rack, making it look easy.
Yeah, they love their homegrown talent, and Reed Patchett is one of those guys. Geneva, New York, getting it done for the Mighty Oaks.
D'Antonio wants his bench fired up. Let's get the crowd into it too. Binnen going inside, lays one up and in. Was just floating up a prayer there, the Turkish native. As the lead is back to 15. Samuel will try a 3. He's got it. Michael Samuel with a triple to make it a 12-point game now.
And head coach D'Antonio screaming at his team. They want to go to a full-court press now with Samuel on Bowens.
Rightfully so. A nice strip from Samuel. Defensive presence there from the man who comes off the bench. Hasn't started a game this season, but D'Antonio needs him to show off that defensive presence like what he just did there on the full-court press.
Absolutely. If you can throw a little wrench into the cog that is this Kings offense, big things on the way.
Pellissier with a try, nowhere near the rim. High off the glass as McFarland grabbed the board. Rossi going in on the drive, he's rejected, but Patchett is there to finish. ESF's just got to keep chipping away. The deficit cut to 10, almost halfway through the second half. Nicholson looking for answers, finally finds one. It's Wen, who steps back. He can't get it. Rebound fought for. It's won by Hepburn. Mighty Oaks going the other way. Rossi going in on the drive, lost it, got it back, puts it up and in. It's cut to single digits, and Coach Switek needs a timeout.
That is Rossi's biggest basket of the night. Thought he lost it for a second, was up against Binham, got his own rebound, if you want to call it that, and put it back up for two. ESF back within 10 points, 10:04 back on the clock. This is anybody's game.
Dog mentality from the sophomore Rossi, showing off the Syracuse roots, to say the least. Charging down to the rack, getting it back and putting it right up and in. It's too easy for the 5'11 guard.
5'11 guard playing like he's 6'5", going up against Binham, who is 6 inches taller than him. But Binham just couldn't get a handle on that ball.
Halfway through this second half, just about that is. My right is Will Henschel. I'm Trey Redfield. And Will, we saw a Lions team that looked hot in the first half, took it into the second as well, but now they're coughing up a run against this ESF squad.
Yeah, we thought, or at least I thought personally, that the Lions were just going to run away with this one. ESF was going to get their first conference loss, and the Kings were going to go back to Brooklyn a little happier. But right now, I'm not so sure what the result of this game entails. So stay tuned, because anything could happen.
You mentioned it. Anybody's game. Bowens goes hard to the rack. A blocking foul is called.
Somebody's got to tell both teams this is not a game of hockey. They are throwing the body around.
Hepburn was the one that was called for the foul. It's the freshman's second on the afternoon. Bowens, one of the starters today for Kings. The average is around 22 minutes a game, as the lefty hits the first. Much needed bucket there. Yes, it's a free throw, but still, Kings getting back on the board can give you some confidence, yeah?
Hey, a point's a point's a point. You'll take anything you can get right now. If he sinks this, it's back to a double-digit point lead.
He does just that. How will ESF respond on the other end? Farland with a nice move to his left. Goes up, can't get it. Patchett with the rebound, and Patchett with the finish. Deficit back to 8.
That's what Patchett's got to do. He's got to be ready behind the rim. Get those boards, put up twos.
And it was cornered, but gets out of it with a pass to Nicholson. Bowens going up with speed. Was rejected, but it was last touched by Logan Cianco, the one who got the block. Michael Samuel will come in for Kieran Hepburn.
Some of the best defense we've seen all game from ESF, from Cianco. Getting that ball against Bowens and forcing it out of bounds.
Wen fakes. Finds Binham, and he's fouled. Got fouled around the right tick. And he'll go to the free throw line again.
Yeah,
he lives there.
He is living there. And he made everybody in the building hear it. I mean, we've got a set of headphones on it, and you could hear the yell that he put out when he got fouled.
Got a lot of mics as well. We have a great setup here. It's so good to be back. It's the first time we've had a men's college basketball broadcast on ESFTV since February 5th of 2020. It was myself and Audra Rosengdahl on the call, and it was a good one for sure. An 82-80 overtime loss to Albany Pharmacy. If the Mighty Oaks can find their way back into this one, we may get ourselves another thriller once again.
Maybe some free basketball?
Maybe some free basketball. You never know, as Binham makes it a 10-point game once again. The kick out to Cianco. He gets a 3. Averages 9 a game, but he's leading the Mighty Oaks in scoring right now. The deficit back to 7.
ESF back to the press.
Bowens on the baseline. Kicks out to Wen. Wen finds space. He's blocked. Rossi gets a hand on it. He gets the handoff from Patchett. Patchett losing it off the pass from Samuel. A fight for the basketball. Question is whether it was a jump ball or a timeout.
Discussing it now.
A jump ball is called, so it will stay on the right half of the court.
That was a pretty dangerous situation for Reed Patchett and Jimmy Wynn to be in. Jimmy Wynn is actually playing with a pair of wire eyeglasses right now,
yes.
Not the sports goggles. I mean, I don't want to think about what would happen if one of those were to break.
Be bad. You don't want to be like Velma and ask where your glasses are. As Sianko gets another one. Allen Hall is fired up. ESF trails by 4, 8.5 to go. Nicholson on the drive is fouled. That's one way to respond if you're the Lions.
Absolutely. You should have seen head coach John D'Antonio almost looking like a softball pitcher, winding up his arm, telling his team to get back on the press defense after Sianko drilled that latest three. This team is amped up, and D'Antonio just has to reel him in a little bit.
And Nicholson's got to hit these couple of free throws. Last time he was at the free throw line, he couldn't hit neither the first nor the second. This is the first one once again. We have a timeout called by Nick Swedick. Kings will use another TO. A much needed one too, Will.
Absolutely. I mean, hey, who would have thought this? Down by 20 just a few minutes ago, it is a 5-point game. ESF willing their way back into this contest.
Just when you thought it was going to be put to sleep. Oh no, my friend. We're right back into this one. The Mighty Oaks finding ways, just chip away, claw back, use the full court press. Everything's going right now, and right now you have the momentum on the other side of the court, and that is the ESF crowd.
Yeah, but don't count out Kings just yet. They still hold the lead. They just moved into the double bonus. ESF can't afford to get too physical down low or risk sending their shooters to the line for 2 guaranteed.
A win today for the Mighty Oaks could get themselves a commanding lead in the HVIAC standings. 2-0 in conference play, 4-6 overall. A win for ESF today would also make it 5 of its last 6 in the win column. This is a team that started out ice cold, Will.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you look at a team that started 0-5 in their first 5 games and then turned it around the way they did, it's borderline miraculous, and they could be the first team. If ESF comes back, gets a win, they could be the first team in the HVIAC with 3 conference W's.
Nicholson can't hit the second either. He's now 0 for 4 from the line. That's huge for the Mighty Oaks. Be even bigger if they can score on this offensive possession. Rossi knifing inside. Patchett looking for an answer beyond the arc. 9 seconds on the shot clock. McFarland gets his pick, tries a 3. That is well off the mark. It was last touched by the Lions. Mally Binnen and Tyler Bowens looking like a couple of Pee Wee basketball players trying to touch the ball.
Huge mistake by Binnen. I think Bowens and Binnen each thought the other was going to go for the ball, and they just brushed it, went out of bounds. ESF ball.
2 words, Will. Same team. As the shot clock resets to 20 after that miss from McFarland. Rossi cutting inside, can't get it. The rebound, he's rejected hard by Binnen. Bowens will try a triple. Give it to him. That is how you respond if you're the Lions. Doing it on both sides. The lead is up to 8. Foul is called on Morton Hansen, getting a little too much elbow on a driving McFarland.
ESF still in the bonus, so this will only be 1-1 for McFarland.
Kings, on the other hand, is in the double bonus, so that's huge for the Lions. Not so much for the Mighty Oaks, applying a physical full court press. Foul is called. A pause and play is stopped, and knowing this ESF team will, it revives around a very fast and physical play.
Oh, yeah. And then you start getting into the situation of some of your key players, some of your key defensive players might start fouling out. And that helps no cause on the ESF side.
McFarland goes 1 for 1 from the line. Binnen charging inside. It's too easy. The junior makes it a 9-point lead for the Lions. Samuel on the drive, looking for an answer. He finds it.
ESF's got to not take up too much shot clock. They don't have a lot of time to come back in this one. Samuel doing well to get that basket quick.
Bowens loses it, but it stays on the left half. Corralled by Wen. Wen down low to Hansen. He can't finish. Patch it with a hard flop board. Doing the reverse handoff to Rossi. Goes in on the drive. On Bowens. Can't get it to fall off the glass.
The Caddyshack ball.
Bowens going in with the Euro. Patrick gets a hand on it. He can't corral. It will go with ESF. It bounced off of Bowens last. Kieran Hepburn will step in for the Mighty Oaks. Matt McFarland will step out. Checking out for Kings is Jimmy Wen and Kate Nicholson. Coming in are Pellissier and also Nick Rommel. Patchett skying for the ball, looking for space, puts it up and puts it in. The deficit cut to 5 with about 6 to go in the second half.
I really like this lineup for ESF. Their best field goal scorer, their best three-point shooter at the same time. Best offensive opportunities.
Here comes Binnen, he's fouled. The 6'5" guard from Turkey will head to the charity stripe for a couple. Hear ourselves a nice little suit compliment from Tyler Bowens. You can hear it on the mic faintly. I knew he was a funny guy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you know, you go to New York City to try some pizza. You're gonna come over here and say, "How tall am I?" Because he must have heard me say that Mally was 6'5". But I was right. He's 6'2". He's 6'2".
And Trey, I gotta say,
yeah,
we do look good.
We do look good.
We look good.
Big shout out to our producer and director, Christopher Beccura, for putting us on camera to start off the second half. Because people wouldn't even know. Unless they see us on the bottom of your TV screen. But other than that, we got to say, the fits go hard.
The fits are going hard.
We're almost matching. Yeah. Crazy how we think alike. It's a good thing former president of CNY Stream, Porter Holt, put us together.
Oh, yeah.
As Rossi goes in, he's fouled at the right block.
Porter knew what he was doing.
He always knows what he's doing. Come on. Got to give it to the man.
Oh, yeah.
Not a Porter. Good guy, but got to talk about Christian Rossi. He's going to the line, shooting 2.
ESF now in the double bonus.
The sophomore hits the first. Free throw is crucial. Got to hit him. We talked about ESF having to be like-minded with Syracuse, relying on his free throws. As the men's basketball rookie of the week, back on the week of November 30th, gets both the free throws. Kings leading by 5 once again. Binnen on the spin. Oh my! Oh, that was nifty from Binnen. It's a 7-point game.
That is why he's one of the best scorers on this team.
Patchett goes down. He gets it. Much needed bucket. A timeout is called. It's a 5-point game. 1 point in this second half, Will. The lead for Kings was 20. 20.
And now, only 5. 5 minutes left, 5 points the deficit for ESF. It's kind of, the game is kind of evened out in a way. Both teams in the double bonus. Both teams, I think we can see, are getting a little tired. There's some more mistakes happening. If ESF can just find that little crack in the armor from Kings, who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? It's a Mighty Oaks team that's the top of the HVIAC, looking to put themselves even higher in the standings, and Kings even lower. The Lions 0-1 in conference play, 3-5 overall. A loss for Kings would be 2 straight, but a win for ESF would be 3 consecutive W's.
And while the Kings' weapons have kind of quieted down, most notably Jimmy Nguyen, hasn't produced a whole lot since that most recent corner 3. A lot of the ESF weapons have been heating up.
Here comes Bowens, who kicks it out to Hansen. Can't get it. Rebound corralled by Siako. Rossi and Siako play a little game and catch. McFarland, a long triple on the way. That's no good. ESF needed that bucket but couldn't get it. Bowens to Bennett. A mismatch against McFarland. The kick out to Wendt. Wendt going in on the drive. Knifing to the basket. Can't finish with the left hand.
Looking for a foul on that one was Nguyen.
Down low to Patchett. The kick out. Back beyond the arc. Siako got it. Don't go anywhere. It's a 2-point game inside Allen Hall. Bowens going in on the drive. Hard to the lane, but he's fouled. It's on Siako, who just hit that tray ball. The Grand Island native is now up to 2 fouls.
I think the Lions are going to start to force ESF's hand at committing these fouls, slowing down the game, putting a King's College player on the free throw line.
Both teams now up to 10 in the foul category as Bowens, hits the first.
Bowens, 75% from the charity stripe this season.
The man himself, Nick Switek, said it. Man at the helm for Kings. It's a big conference game. Sure is, Coach. A win puts your team at an even 1-1 record in conference play.
Looks like ESF trying to scheme up some play, draw something up, create space. They need a basket right here, down 4.
Lions are giving the Mighty Oaks a new look. The 2-3 zone. Syracuse's own. McFarland from the elbow. Can't get it. Just when you thought it was going to be a 2-point game once again, McFarland couldn't finish. Bennett going in on the drive. Another foul is called. You mentioned bumps and bruises, bags of ice. You're going to need more than a pair of those on Mally Bennett on the way back to Brooklyn today.
Mally Bennett, by the end of this, might need a full-body cast. I mean, he was limping as he was getting up from that one. He was a bit hunched over, doing fine now, but definitely wincing a little bit.
Like Wiley and grown-ups?
Oh, yeah.
The first one goes from the junior. It's dominant for this team, leading the Lions in points a game, almost around 20. He's 3rd in the conference in that category. He's also 2nd in the HVIAC in rebounds per game as well, as the lead is now up to 6 for Kings. It's getting to that point where the Mighty Oaks are rolling the basketball up half court to save some time. Need a bucket here. Sianko got a triple last time on the offensive possession. Can Rossi get it this time? You bet. The deficit cut in half. ESF not going anywhere. Bowens to Hansen, gets some space, goes on the drive. A foul is called. Hansen holding his nose. Will go to the line for a pair. D'Antonio looking for some answers on the offensive side as Hansen hits the first. Back to a two-possession game.
I said a little while ago that Christian Rossi, when he picked up his own rebound and converted that layup, that was his most important basket. I take that back. That triple he just shot, that was his most important basket of the game, giving ESF, or rather keeping ESF in this game.
The Redmond, Washington native going 1 for 1 from the line. Rossi going inside. A jump ball is called. It's going the other way.
And tempers flaring a little bit. Rossi and Bowens.
Bowens showing some passion there. Gotta love the excitement, especially from the senior. You know, this is what you're looking for if you're Kings, right? Especially late in the game.
This is leadership.
Bowens finds Bennett. Guarded by Michael Samuel. Bennett with the spin. He's double teamed. Goes up. And he traveled. Oh, that's crucial. Bennett can't believe it. McFarland will step back in for Samuel.
That is called catching a break if you're ESF. Bennett almost caught with an unbelievable travel call. Now ESF has another possession, gets the ball back very quickly with just a tick over 2 minutes left and down 4 points.
Can the Mighty Oaks find a much-needed basket here? Patch it to Rossi. McFarland going in, spinning back to his left. Fadeaway, fakes it. Patchett can't get it. It stays in bounds and Bennett takes over. Finding an open Wennon. Wen to the other way, he finished. Barking out some words, and as he should, this Kings squad is up by 6 with 90 ticks to go. Rossi can't answer on the other end. A jump ball, yes we do. We have one of those, and it will stay on the right half of the court.
Nick Rommel fighting for his life on that ball. Was not going to let ESF get it with their basket just a couple feet away.
Rommel getting the start today. One of those players stepping up with only 8 active players. The foul is called against Jimmy Wen. That's his 4th. It's been a while since he's picked up a foul. It's been about 12 minutes. But Wen has got to be careful here. One more and he's out.
And although he is one of the biggest offensive weapons for this Kings team, putting up 29 in the last game, he hasn't done a whole lot, especially in the second half, but still losing him would be a bad way to start the final minute and a half of the second half.
Sianko's got to hit this second free throw here at the Mighty Oaks. Want to stay in this one. Hasn't shot much. Came into this one with only 7 free throw attempts. He gets the second. 5-point lead for Kings. Bowens gets across half court. Going in on the drive. Offensive foul. Dog mentality from Kieran Heffernan to turn it over.
I think what Kieran Heffernan did right there was basically step in front of a freight train. He took that hit, no remorse, and no quarter taken on his own health, but great sportsmanship shown immediately afterwards.
70 seconds left. Rossi. Wanted Patchett, couldn't find him. Great defense by Bennett down low. Samuel going on the drive, he can't finish. When thought about slowing it down, now does after getting some space. A timeout called by Nick Sweeting.
Wow.
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 They go back and forth, don't they?
Pinball action here at Onondaga Community College. And really I think what's highlighted the day so far has been the physicality of the play that we're seeing. We're seeing players go up for acrobatic layups, slamming themselves to the ground. We're seeing charges taken. We're seeing diving for the ball. These teams are not worried about the blister burn. They're not worried about the bruises. They want to get this W. They know how important this conference game is, and they will get out of here with the conference win, or they will die trying.
That's Will Hetchel. I'm Trey Redfield here with you inside Allen Hall on the campus of Onondaga Community College, where ESF trails by 5. 50 seconds left in this one. Mighty Oaks trying to find their 3rd straight win, looking to improve to 5-6 on the season. Be a 3-game winning streak for ESF. It'd also be 5 of its last 6. 3-0 conference record. All sounds pretty good to me, but ESF has got to find a miracle down 5.
Down 5, 50 seconds left, and the possession arrow is not in their favor. Do you start fouling right now? Do you start sending them to the line, start making sure that that clock doesn't tick down any more than it needs? I mean, Kings College has got a couple of good free throw shooters that you wouldn't necessarily want to give free baskets. But at this point in the game, the clock is not on the Mighty Oaks side.
Sianco on Bowens. We've seen this matchup all day. Kick out to Rommel. Line's got to get it off. Binnen's got to put up a shot at the top of the key. It's well off the mark. Shot clock violation called. It's much needed too, but the shot clock is off with 27 seconds left.
Binnen averaging nearly 20 points a game and nearly 40% shooter from the field, but only around 33% from 3 range. And I mean, that's not bad by any stretch, but he was not, I think, the ideal shooter that Kings wanted to have that shot right there.
They add a couple more second and some tenths. As Rossi goes in on the drive, he can't finish. Jump ball is called. It's going towards ESF. That's what the scoreboard says. It will stay with ESF.
Binnen not happy. He seems to be in the middle of every single one of these chance balls that goes in favor of ESF.
The Mighty Oaks been attacking him all day. A confusion on who it's going towards. We had just mentioned, if I remember correctly, Will, that Kings was the one that had the possession arrow.
They did. That was on the inbounds when Jimmy Wynn passed it out to Bowens.
Do we have ourselves an issue at the scorer's table?
Arrow points in favor of ESF right now. 2 refs meeting, and the 2 respective teams meeting at their benches. Now all 3 refs are at the scorer's table, and I don't know what the call here is. I don't really know where the confusion even is.
So Steve Sutphin, Todd Kirky, and Eric Priest will talk things over at the scorer's table. But I believe what I'm thinking here is, doesn't Kings have the basketball? We just said that the Lions had the possession arrow.
But I think that's what had Molly Binnen so frustrated, is that he believed he got fouled.
In that too.
But I believe, if memory serves me correct, that the refs pointed the possession in favor of ESF. And that's what had Binnen.
Because they saw on the scoreboard that it was pointing towards ESF, which still does right now.
Right. And that's what I think had Binnen so frustrated.
Talking things over, this could bring this Allen Hall crowd to a ruckus. potentially, if it's overturned. The possession arrow will point towards ESF, so another opportunity here. Will, do you go for a 3 with 21.4 on the clock?
Oh. I think if you're ESF, you kind of have to. I think you got to take the biggest chunk away from the score as possible. Get rid of the 3 now so you can focus on just getting a 2 later on, provided the Lions don't go down and score themselves.
Find out what ESF does here. Down low to Patchett, who goes up. He can't finish. The sophomore center couldn't get it to go.
Patchett.
Antonio wanted the foul, but Patchett couldn't finish.
And it looked like he had a pretty clear look. I mean, this is the leading field goal shooter in the conference, and he just missed a massive layup. The ref's now saying on that possession arrow, they never flipped the arrow to begin with. So they had a meeting to reset it after the whole sequence had happened.
Now that makes sense, as Hansen misses a crucial free throw to put this one to sleep on the first one. It's only been at the charity stripe 4 times going into this game. Gets the second one though. Mighty Oaks need a basket ASAP, down by 6. Rossi going in on the drive, kicks out to Sianco. He's had a couple of threes there, can't get it. It's back out to him, 6 seconds on the clock. He goes from the elbow, that one will go. The timeout is called by ESF. But the sand in the hourglass is slowly going down on this Mighty Oaks squad, Will. Coach D'Antonio and company will need a miracle.
Yeah, I don't even think we're really talking about too much sand anymore. Just a couple grains left in that hourglass. 5 seconds, down by 4. Kings will get the ball. ESF will have to foul. And then you just got to pray that they don't convert anything. And even from there, even if they miss, you're still down by 4 with 4 and change left. Not only do you got to hit a 3, but a Kings player has to foul him.
That's huge. Maybe a turnover here could spark something. But if you do that, you got to get a quick bucket.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
for a foul as well. A lot has to go in ESF's favor here.
The Kings College, once ESF gets this ball back, even if they get this ball back, will park the bus. They won't even put anybody near a 3-point shooter lest they try to foul him.
If I'm ESF, you could disagree on this one, Will, but if I'm fouling somebody, I'm fouling Caden Nicholson. He hasn't hit a single free throw today.
Oh, yeah. He's definitely the weakest free throw shooter on the team, but it's a question of if he's even going to get the ball. He doesn't.
It's a second and a half. Wade's off the clock, and Tyler Bowens was the one that was fouled. Coming into this game, shooting 75% from the free throw line.
He converted 2 straight earlier in his last trip to the charity stripe. And now with 3.5 left, he can put this game out of reach of ESF.
Maybe miss the second one to take off some time. As the first one falls, what do you think?
No one's back there for Kings. So it would really, I say why not?
Why not?
There's no such, they'd be very difficult for ESF to have a 5-point play right now.
He misses it. 1 second on the clock. And that will do it. Kings traveling up to the Salt City today and getting a big-time HBIAC win with just 8 players on the traveling roster. Lions take it 85-80 on this Sunday afternoon.
That cannot be stressed enough. 8 players, 5-hour drive, coming in, getting up early this morning and getting to Syracuse for the game. They walk out of here with their first conference win of the season. A huge win for Kings College.
So the Lions move to 1-1 on the season, 4-5 overall. The Mighty Oaks drop to 2-1 in conference play, 4-7 overall. So that does it. Kings taking down ESF by a final of 85-80, and we want to extend our thanks to Dan Raymond, Michael Boers, and Garth McGowan, and the outstanding people at Onondaga Community College for all the help in making this broadcast possible. And on behalf of our outstanding production crew and my broadcast partner, Will Henschel, I'm Trey Redfield. We thank you for joining us. ESF Mighty Oaks Basketball is a production of ESFTV in association with CNY Stream. Final score, Kings 85, ESF 80. As we say so long from Syracuse, New York.